Here's some Mormon LDS folklore for you today. And if you were raised Mormon, let me know if you were taught this or if this was just me. So when I was growing up, I was taught this thing that's not specific doctrine, but that's why I call it folklore. It's about the origin of the earth, and it's a very strange creationist perspective. So I was taught that in the days of Adam and Eve, there was no rain. There was just a mist of water that came up from the ground and watered all the plants and things like that because there was water inside the earth. And there was still an ocean around, but Pangea, which is actually hundreds of millions of years old, is Pangea, which was where all the continents were together, was actually, in the time of Adam and Eve, so like 6,000 years ago. So there was still an ocean, but Pangea was in the middle, and a mist of water came up from the ground, so there wasn't any rain. And it was like that until the flood of Noah. So when the flood of Noah happened, the mid-Atlantic ridge, which is a real area out in the ocean, you can look on maps and see it. It's in the Atlantic Ocean, and in reality, it's just an area where the plates of the earth came up and kind of made an underwater mountain. I don't know, I'm not super educated on the mid-Atlantic ridge, but at the same time I know that it wasn't where the flood burst out from, underneath the earth. So all the water that was in the earth, according to this weird folklore, all the water that was in the earth during Noah's flood came up out of that area like a seam burst in the earth and flooded everything, every bit of the earth. And then after that, all that water had to precipitate somehow. We couldn't have a mist anymore, so God made it into rain. And then that's why we have rainbows now. So remember in the story of Noah, it's like, oh, now we have the rainbow as God's promise that this will never happen again, that kind of thing. So there's some like end times prophecies too about how there won't be a rainbow anymore in the last days, like right before Christ is going to come back. And some people theorize that that's because there will be a massive drought. So that would be what causes like no more rainbows. You know what I mean? So I believed all of this, all of it. And I've never heard any other LDS people talk about this except my dad, who was born in 1943. So I don't... my dad is no longer with us, by the way. And he never knew that I left the church. Yeah. But I haven't heard any other LDS people talk about this, but I totally believed it. And for me, it went right along with other creationist things that I believed. Like I was into unfortunately, the work of Kent Hovind and Ken Ham and all of that stuff. Not anymore. The dinosaurs on the ark thing always was kind of weird to me. I never fully believed that one. But yeah, I was just curious as to if anyone else who's been raised Mormon has been taught that. So, Mormon folklore of the day.